Okay, my name is Jana. I am the CEO at Act Now, and Act Now actually stands for ACT, which is Actors Casting Technology. And so what we're doing is we're essentially building Expedia for acting. So we're pulling together a whole bunch of casting sites into one spot, and then we're also a space for partners to advertise through. And so kind of for those of you that might have the mind and body, app where you go like one place and then they give you connections to a bunch of different gyms and everything. We're doing that with actors as well for actor classes. They go to one place and they get connected to a bunch of different teachers. So it's fun. We're excited.
And today actually is going to be about landing pages and
perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. And about some elements and things that you can add in that can be added in either to your app or into your landing pages that aren't just your cliche stuff.
I think it's kind of funny because as you're building stuff, you get this list going of all these things you'd like to add, but then you're not always ready to add all of them. And then you forget the list. And so before you know it, you're like, yay, it's ready. And then, it's so good to get outside eyes, especially expert outside eyes, that go, hey, did you forget about, or did you think about this? And you're like, oh my gosh. And so little things like, of course, adding video, of course, adding screenshots of what the app does in general. It's just when we got the landing page up, we didn't have the app finished. So we are ready to add those things, which is really exciting.
And it is a screenshot generator.
Wow.
Let me share my screen. This is a free site. And it is, you can do paid versions for it, but this works for what we're talking about. And this is an App Store screenshot generator. And what's really nice about it is you can make all kinds of changes here. And it's so simple to use. So first of all, you can choose your background. Do you want a solid color or do you want to make it a gradient color? How do you want it to look? Oh gosh, that wasn't your color. You're more, the blue and the grays, or you're the blue and green. Gee, I wonder who's blue and green. Oh wait, that would be me. And so you can choose to do your colors. Then you can choose the device that you want this to be on. So do you want it to be on an iPhone? Do you want it to be on, these are all iPhones, white or black? Then slide over here to your Androids. I personally use the Android phone when I'm doing, for what I'm going to be doing here. You do need to use the individual phones for the individual store shot. So if you're in Android, you want to use an Android phone. If you're in Apple, you want to use an Apple phone. But for what I'm going to suggest, I always suggest the Android phone. And the reason why is the layout. There's no buttons to get in the way. You go to Apple and you can't see the button yet. You will, but it cuts off a lot more of the screen. You have more screen to work with here, right? It's just a cleaner look. And you can even go as far as to have the iPads. You can put them on the different iPads. You can have a white background, black background, depending. And you can just do the flat out screenshot itself too, if you want. So it's really, really simple to work with. And as I said, I'm going to go right here with that. And then you can choose your font. I'm just going to leave it with the font that they've selected because I personally am going to do these without any words. So as you can see now, you can see the full phone. And if you want to, you can go with a very minimalistic background. We're actually going to go with a solid on that, just a minimalistic background that you can very easily pop these into Canva, Photoshop, wherever, and make it a clear back, a translucent, transparent background, right?
Thanks.
But if you do go, and once you switch back and forth to devices, it's not a problem, but you can see the Apple device, it takes up a lot of the screen on this. That's why I like the Android. I just think the look is nicer, even though I am an Apple user. Well, actually, I've got them all sitting on my desk. And then you literally just come here and you just select an image. Let me pull this down out of the way. So you just go into wherever you want to go. Like today, we're going to pick on Easy Beasy. I did all these in Easy Beasy before. And here you can just pop that in. Boom. Come over here. Grab another one. Boom. You want to add one. That's not a problem. And there you go. You've got your screenshots.
Wow.
Then all you do is you hit preview and then you just download it. And after you're done downloading it, you can go back to editing. You can change make any changes that you want. If you choose, because of something you're doing for like your website or any other promotional area, you can actually go to a different layout if you want, and you can put texting on the top, put different words and stuff up here on top. Oh yeah, this is in, I need to go back to the font because the
White on white.
yeah, the white on white didn't work real well. There we go. And so you can, put in whatever text you want. This is a app store image. You can say what this is that you're looking at, or you can also do the text on the bottom if you wish to have it down there.
Nice.
So this is just a really simple, easy site to use. And this is what you can use to put on your website, put it in your social media, put it in videos, and you can make as many of these as you want. The other thing that I wanted to go over today is another site that has a lot of free good stuff. And let me pull up chat here. It's this Elements Envato. And why is it the chat itself is not coming up? Oh, there it is. That's why. Okay, there. That's the website for that. And there's a lot of free stuff here, and there's a lot of paid stuff. Now, yes, this is used a lot by web developers, but your apps can be the same thing. And you can go in and you can find different graphics that you want to use, or illustrations. Like in this case, we're going to do illustrations, and say we want to bring in, okay, so these are illustrations, and in specific, let's just say I wanted to do people illustrations. And what's nice about this is I can add any of these in. Some are paid, and if they are, they're not very, very expensive. But let's just say for whatever reason we wanted to look at the diverse ones. So you want to do illustrations on your site. These are images that you are now able to use and insert into your site and into your app and even into your social media or any other type of work that you want to do. These are just some resources, and you can also do them in vector. So in case you've got moving people, motions. So like right here, you've got the different, this whole thing will buy this one template, and these are vectors. With that, your whole mind of creativity can open up. Exactly. And you can even do a carousel.
Oh yeah, those things.
Yeah, and when I go to a website, I don't mind a carousel that is just showing me a quick little demo like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't like the carousel is when I'm supposed to click on it to take me to another spot of the website, because then as soon as it goes away, it's like, but I wanted that. And
Yes,
now you got to wait for it to come back around, or if you have the wherewithal, you click on it and it comes back. But they can be very annoying when people are looking at your website on a device.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not as bad on a website itself. What else is a very important feature of a landing page that needs to be like all over and very clear?
How to download?
Yep. Your call to action. Yes. Your call to action. And that is definitely something that you need to have as many places as possible. And it needs to be clear. Now, you can do your download in one of two ways. You can have the two buttons, one for Android, one for Apple, or you can have one button and use a single link. The one link is one thing that we've done before. I know there's other shorteners out there that you can use. I like the one link because it does give you a little bit of statistics, not a lot, and it's nothing to get all excited about, but at least it's keeping track for you so you know how it's being used. Plus, I like it because it recognizes what device the people are on. And if they're on a website, then you can have them go right to either the web app, if you have a web app, or you can have them, it'll go right back to your own main website. So
yeah, how do you guys tend to, because there's a high potential that people can find out about your app on a desktop and then being like, hey, by the way, pick up the phone. Oh, which by the way, these are all apps.
nice.
Sorry, I'm such
nice. Well, I got to get me one of those.
And one day my app will be in there. No. But yeah, so that's what we were trying to figure out. And so what we've come up with is we have a text. You can text our code, and then that'll pull it up right up on your phone. But I know you said OneLink has a QR option. Okay. So
that's exactly where I was going. QR codes. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but they're everywhere. Oh my gosh. I was watching a commercial on Hulu, and the bottom of the screen popped up and said, for more information, scan this QR code, or on your remote, because it's a Amazon Fire Stick. Mm-hmm. On your remote, just hit OK and we'll take you right to that information. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yes, it is the QR code. Have that on your website as well. You can't have enough information. And what you could do very simply, and I like that, text the number 2, right? So you can very easily do the QR code or text the number 2, whatever that number is. Text the word app to the number 1234, and you will be given the link immediately. And I think you need to have both, or actually all 3 options.
Wait, what's the third?
Is to be able to have the one link in case somebody's on their device.
Right.
So to have that, have the generic download here, have the text the number to blah, 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 and have the QR code, because you don't know how your audience is going to do it. They all have a comfort zone. Like, some people still don't understand the QR code. You just open up your camera and boom. You don't need a QR scanner any longer. You used to.
Yep.
But you don't anymore. Other people don't like the texting piece. Mm-hmm. But here's the magic of the texting piece. You've now captured their phone number.
Yeah.
And you now can mark it. So that is something to consider. But again, not just one way. You could even potentially offer an email option where it's email the word, to send me the app, click here, give us your email address, and boom.
Okay. All right. So then check your email on your phone for the download link or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So those are actually, and I literally just thought of the email one. So technically 4 ways. And any of those ways, whether they're downloading your app, whether they're sending you the email or the text, you're capturing their information. And if they do the email and text, and then you can follow up with hey, just asking, did you download the app? Mm-hmm. Right? Because it is about getting downloads and getting people engaged. So the very first thing you want to do is ask them, did you download it? Just a reminder, mm-hmm. Because you can't tell when somebody's downloaded it unless they set up an account. But now you're trying to cross-reference, like I am like everybody else in the world. How many email addresses do you have? right? Even my parents who are in their 80s, everybody knows about my parents because talk about them all the time. And they have 3 email boxes, 4 technically, because they have their Gmail account also. And it's like, okay, so because of that, somebody might ask for an email address, but then when they sign up their account within your app, they may use a different
A
one.
different one. Yes, that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
So what would you say? So like we do have some direct links right now that's like download here from the App Store, the Apple Store or the Google Play.
mhm.
Do we have any kind of analytics or anything? That's my OneSignal account, right?
Of whether or not they're downloading.
Yeah.
Okay. The analytics are actually in the stores themselves,
Oh, okay, good.
as well as the OneSignal. Now, not everybody on our call has OneSignal because we have push notices 2 separate ways. You either have an account that is OneSignal, which we'll talk about here in just a minute, or your app has a built-in push notice.
Mhm.
And so the ones that have the built-in push notice, you can see your analytics right within the dashboard of the back end. With yours, if you go to OneSignal, it will open up and it will tell you this is how many downloads and this is how many people opted in
To the
to the push notice. The other way to do it is to actually go out to the stores and take a look. Google is very simple. It tells you right there, boom, this is how many Android downloads you have. Apple, on the other hand, you can, in Apple fashion. However, you have to like change the date range because it only likes to tell you how many were downloaded in the last week and all that kind of stuff. So
basically just subtract your Androids and be like, there you go.
Yeah, pretty much. So really your best way to look up your downloads are from OneSignal where your push notices are, or if you are on our Siberian platform, to go into the app analytics. And that actually breaks it down even more in that it tells you what tabs people have been playing on. I don't know if OneSignal they may have added that where you can see your user activity and how they're using the app. What's really important is when you do have your analytics within the app is to look at them more than occasionally, because like the way your app is laid out, let's say nobody ever goes to a page that is like an about you page, right?
Mhm.
But you've got that at the very top. Well, why? Then put that at the bottom. And I know, thinking like a website, everybody always wants to go to have their about me. This is about me. And it's usually like in the front, right? But really at that point, people, especially on an app, they already know you. They're not going to sit there and read about who you are. I'm not saying don't put it in, it should be there, but it doesn't have to be at the forefront. It's not the star.
Mhm.
The star, when you lay out your app, is the thing that you want them to take action for most. So one of our apps is called More for You, which is a Brookfield Chamber hosts a local community app, and it's for community members, for the businesses to showcase. And a lot of the businesses offer coupon discounts. We're in Wisconsin, home of the coupon. And that's like forefront. You open up that app and boom, that's the first button. It's special deals, I think they call it. And there they all are. Simple, easy to use. So it's when you're looking at your app, you want to look at your analytics to find out where people are and then rearrange your app accordingly. Most apps, as far as rearranging go, are simple. It's a drag and drop and, oh, that's the order we want this in. Okay, slide this here, done. It's not coding and redoing. In fact, if I recall correctly, on your personal app, it is that simple.
Yes, we have kind of like a set format. I can change what the order of everything. So I'm just trying to think about what's the strongest call to action for some of those things.
Yeah.
Right there. Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes you're not going to know that, see, until your users start using it,
Mm-hmm.
because we all get it in our head how we want them to use it. And we forget that that's not always how they use it. You know how you want to use it. You created it for a reason. And we actually have one app right now, our Easy Beasy app. And it is all from the fantastic creation of Shannon's brain. She's the one that came up with the idea, had the problem, we fixed it, and then we realized we can roll this out to everybody. And as we're rolling it out to everybody, we have other people using it that are using it in a different fashion. And not that it's a problem, but it has sparked us to go, oh, well, let's do this to make it easier for them. And okay, well, we can now, it was a real simple thing. You could copy a route, copy a job, right? We never, ever thought that you needed to copy a customer. But the copy feature was already there. So it's just a matter of attaching it to the customer until one of our users called and said, I need to copy a customer because I have two different teams at service. We do landscaping as well as patio repair, as well as tree trimming. And that same customer could be on 4 different groups, and they wanted to keep them very separate because they put them in differently and they coded them differently for their billing, which makes sense. You're not going to charge as much to have the lawn cut as you are to have the tree trimmed. We never thought of that. So
yeah, I'm sure more things will come up as more users.
Your users dictate how your app needs to evolve. And you've got to pay attention to the users without a doubt. And that's why it's really important on every app to have a share the app feature too. And I actually talked to Lorenzo, you have one now. You can take it off your list. We figured out a spot to quickly and easily put it.
Ooh.
And it says very clearly, share this app. And then it takes them out to the store to be able to download the app. So everybody needs to do that, because that's what happens, especially in your field, in the arts and entertainment field. You want your actions to be clear, just like that section on yours that we were talking about for purchasing subscription and upgrades. We have a few people here who are also doing that with their app, that they have free parts and then paid subscriptions. And you have to make it clear what they're going to get. Now, the one app that we're just rolling out right now with a subscription, it's called Generating Peace. And it is based on the 12 peace prayers, but it's more than that. But it's all about being spiritual, having, contemplation corners, meditation corners, being able to share people's stories and have the power of prayer, if you will, however you look at that from your higher power, to be able to put that all together. Well, what they're doing is they're offering 7 days full access to the app, and then shutting, not the full app, then they only get the free stuff, but the good stuff they're going to miss. And now they have to sign up for their subscription for it. But it's very clear in their app and then also on their website why you want to have this extra stuff. What value does it bring? So in your particular app, there is a world of difference between the paid and the not paid. And you need to make that very clear on your website as well as within the app of why I need to do this. But once you have a very significant number of downloads, you want to put that up there. 10,000 people have downloaded our app. And leverage that. But that's down the road, but I'm only putting it in here to have it come forward eventually, because that's what's going to get those partners to want to sign up and become part of it. Don't necessarily want to put their reputation out there until you have a boatload of downloads, because you're not being proven. So you see the double-edged sword on that, the yin and the yang. And it's like, okay, how do I get downloads? And please don't anybody ever, 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 I don't know if I'd stress this, go buy a bunch of downloads.
Oh, you can do that? Like you can buy followers?
Right. Don't do it. And you're going to get places sending you emails saying, we can increase your downloads. We can increase your downloads are useless unless people are using it, and unlike Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where we guarantee you 50,000 downloads, will get your account shut down because they're all a bunch of spam from countries around us, right? And they're meaningless because your message is now falling on ears that are not going to do business with you.
Sure.
Right. So unlike that, you won't be shut down. Apple and Google will not shut you down. But why do you need them?
And I wouldn't want to lie. That would be so creepy to.
Exactly. It's just like buying a mail list and then it's a boatload of junk. And now you're like, well, that was a waste of my energy.
Yep.
So you definitely want to make sure that it's not a waste of your energy, that they're legitimate, authentic downloads. I would rather talk to 300 people who want to hear my message than 300,000 people who are doing it just because they got paid to do it.
Sure.
You know, because that's not going to grow my business. It's actually going to hurt my business. So it's very important. But I think the biggest takeaway today is to make it fun, make it clear, your message, and to make it a variety of ways for people to learn, because everybody learns differently.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to nurture the people who asked for the text but didn't take a download, or gave you an email and didn't take a download, and figure out a way to nurture those people as well and encourage them. And then also nurture your people after they've downloaded.
Yes.
To get them to use the app. You can do that through in-app messages, push notices, if you have their phone number, text, if you have their email, to email them.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, it takes 21 days to form a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And you want your app to be a habit.